is the Lamborghini Urus S. After Lamborghini produced 20,000 Uruses, they decided it was time for a refresh, and they presented us with the Urus S and the Urus Performante. Whereas the Performante takes on-track performance of this SUV to the next level, the Urus S continues where the Urus left off, but turns things up a notch. To save some weight, the entire hood of the Lamborghini Urus S is made from carbon fiber. It also has some cool little vents in it as well. Now, coming down to the engine, the power plant, 4-liter twin turbocharged V8, making 657 horsepower and 627 pound-feet of torque. That's up 16 horsepower from the standard Lamborghini Urus. And because it's all-wheel drive and has an 8-speed automatic, you can rock it from 0 to 60 in just 3 seconds flat. Visually, the Urus S is not much different than the standard Urus. The easiest way to tell, in my opinion, is the front grille. The slats are now horizontal. They don't have those kind of crazy hexagonal shapes in the side. Obviously, with the vents in the hood, it could be either a Performante or a Urus S. There's the teeniest change in the rear of the car, but it's almost unnoticeable. The Urus S does have a retuned exhaust system that sounds absolutely incredible. This might just be the best sounding SUV of all time. In terms of visual changes in the rear, it's literally just this piece right here, so pretty hard to tell the difference. Now, instead of the Performante that rides on steel springs to be really good on the track, this maintains the air suspension, so it's more adaptable. It's both comfortable when you need it to be, but it can stiffen up when you want it to be more fun. While being the driver is obviously the preferred seating experience, the rear seat environment of the Urus is actually pretty awesome. Got plenty of headroom for somebody who's 5'11". I imagine up to 6'2", 6'3", you'd be fine, then you'd probably have to start slouching. I love the fact that the headliner is actually made of leather. That looks really, really nice. Now the seats themselves got this really cool hexagonal quilting in them, dual zone climate control back here, heated seats. The interior of the Urus is incredibly well done. It's one of the best SUV interiors of any car in my opinion. The seats in the front, comfortable and supportive. I love that hexagonal shape. Once again, we've got that beautiful leather headliner. The steering wheel feels awesome in your hands. Now, it's broken up into 3 main screens. We've got this screen here. This is the infotainment controls, anything from general settings to music, so on and so forth. Then down here, we've got a dedicated climate control screen. I really like that, actually. Super easy to use. And then up here, we've got the customizable instrument cluster. Now, there are 7 different driving modes to choose from. Using this Anima switch right here, we're in Strata mode for street, sport, it's sporty driving experience, Corsa, that's the full-fledged racing mode, and then we've got 3 different off-road modes, and we even have this Ego mode, which is a fully customizable mode. You can choose things like the drivetrain, the steering setup, as well as the suspension. But before we continue, I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Fume. Cold turkey might be great on sandwiches, but there's a better way to break your bad habit. Fume is an innovative, award-winning device that does just that. Instead of electronics, Fume is completely natural. Instead of vapor, Fume uses flavored air. And instead of using harmful chemicals, Fume uses all natural and delicious flavors. I'm personally stunned at how good this thing tastes, particularly the white cranberry flavor. And the quality of this device is actually incredible. It even has an adjustment right here on the back to control the airflow. It's a habit you're free to enjoy and makes replacing your bad habit easy. Stopping is something we all put off because it's hard, but with Fume, it's easy, fun, and actually enjoyable. Fume has served over 100,000 customers and has thousands of success stories. There's no reason it can't be you. Join Fume in accelerating humanity's breakup of destructive habits by getting yourself a journey pack today. Head to tryfume.com/vehiclevirgins or scan the QR code and use code vehiclevirgins for 10% off the journey pack today. That's tryfum.com and use code vehiclevirgins for 10% off your order today. Behind the wheel of the Urus S now, and this thing sounds absolutely phenomenal. We've got a ZF 8-speed automatic transmission with paddles mounted at 9 and 3. These are some nice feeling paddles for an SUV. And despite the fact that it's not a dual clutch, the downshifts feel almost like a dual clutch. Oftentimes with a conventional automatic, you get a little bit of lag and it feels a little bit sluggish going into gear, and you don't get the cool downshift noises. This you do. Oh my God, and upshift sounds. This little kind of blat with these backfires. Just listen to this thing. I think this has like restored my love. I have a newfound love for the Urus after driving this. In general, I've always felt like, yes, the Urus is cool, but for how much it costs, you could get a Cayenne Turbo GT. There's so many other options for a lot less money. I never really felt like it has a good value proposition. Obviously, if money is no object, then why not? It's a Lamborghini SUV. But this, I don't know what it is. It has more soul. It's louder. It's more fun. It's more lively. I actually really love this thing. We've got an awesome heads-up display in front of me as well. Man, I'm impressed. We got that retuned exhaust, but it sounds like leagues better than the original Lamborghini Urus. And this thing is surprisingly nimble. It's been a couple years since I've driven a Urus very aggressively. I've driven them around town a handful of times, but I remember being impressed that it handles a lot more like a sports sedan, something like a BMW M5 Competition or M5 CS, than it does a big, heavy SUV. Somehow, despite having that tall center of gravity, so to speak, it's still able to handle really, really well. Now, we've got rear axle steering, which means the turning radius is fantastic. You can maneuver this thing around so easily. Now, let's go ahead and put it into Strata mode. The only thing I don't like about the adjuster here is that it doesn't go both directions. And because that person's doing a crazy wheelie, because there's so many different drive modes, it would be kind of nice if you could go in both directions to go upwards and downwards. Like if you're in Corsa mode and you're trying to get to sport, you've got to go all the way around through all the modes. Visibility is fantastic in here. It's so easy to see. I will say this is a very easy car to drive. It doesn't feel intimidating whatsoever. Let's put it into Strata mode, experience what it's like in its most comfortable setting. Obviously, with a vehicle like this, at least me personally, I'd probably almost always be in Corsa mode unless you're in bumper to bumper traffic. But you know, you're in a twin turbocharged, really fast Lamborghini. Do you really want to be driving it around in comfort mode all the time? It just seems a bit boring. But obviously there's going to be situations where you'd want to do that. And the sound deadening from the outside world, the level of suppleness of the suspension in that street mode is actually very, very impressive. You could daily drive the crap out of this thing and then also have fun in the canyons and then also have fun off-roading at the same time. We are in Strata mode right now, just cruising. The steering is even lighter than before, although there's too good of a straightaway not to take advantage of that. This thing sounds so good. Oh man. I mean, a good speaker system. It looks good on the outside. It looks good on the inside. It handles well. You can do crazy off-roading in this thing. It's actually very capable off-road. The odds people are actually going to do that in their Urus are probably very, very low, but please, if you do get one of these, you should off-road it because it is capable. And I mean, what's cooler than off-roading a Lamborghini? This off-road and a Lamborghini Huracan Storado off-road at the same time would be so dang cool. The Urus you can get in either a 4-seat or a 5-seat layout. This is the 5-seat layout. I kind of like the captain's chair 4-seat better, but obviously it's nice to be able to add an extra person. You can also get an optional carbon fiber roof instead of this sunroof to save a little bit of weight, but look, it's a big SUV. Saving a couple pounds isn't that big of a deal. Overall, I really love the way this thing drives. It sounds incredible, and it's kind of reawakens my love for the Lamborghini Urus. I gotta give a special thanks to Monza Exotics for making this video possible. That's where I borrowed the car from. They're an exotic and luxury car rental car company down in Southern California. Super nice group of people, good deals, and they got some really cool cars, from a Ghost to a Urus S to a Huracan Technica, a bunch of stuff. So make sure to check them out. I've got a link in the description below. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next video.